For the past 2 weeks, I've been traveling through Japan. I managed to do some amazing sightseeing, but also do some retro hunting, and I did manage to get my hands on some amazing consoles that have been missing from my collection, but also some amazing accessories and of course some Japanese games. And while I did manage to shoot a bunch of different videos, and I'll do several of them right here on the channel, this video is not about that. In today's video, I want to answer to one of the questions that you guys had for me, and that is what I usually take in my backpack whenever I'm traveling. And what better opportunity to do this than a visit to Japan, where the flight was long. I had to take a bunch of different accessories with me, and there are some that I know for sure I will not be taking anytime soon in my next travels. Okay, so first thing first, my backpack. This is a Samsonite backpack. I don't even remember the name. I'll try to find it and I'll put it right over here. But this is just a generic backpack. It's pretty big, but not big enough so it becomes uncomfortable. It's something that I liked. It has a lot of pockets. It can be used also for work, but also for traveling. It costs around $100. It's not that expensive, and I really enjoyed this backpack so much that I bought the second one. Now inside I had different bunch of accessories. First thing first, my gear for YouTube. So of course I had to take my cameras, microphone and all that. Then I also had my gaming accessories and a bunch of different other that helped me out through this travel. First thing first, the camera gear. What I usually use for this channel, it's the Sony ZV-E10 camera that I have over here, and I'm actually using it right now to shoot this video. I'm still learning to use a dedicated camera. Until last year I have been using my iPhone 14 at the time. I decided to switch to a dedicated camera, and this is a beginner camera that I love using. I'm still trying to learn how to use it, and that's why sometimes my videos are a bit blurry or the audio is not that great, because I'm still learning, so please bear with me. So I think it's a pretty good camera for the money. And to complete off this full gear setup, when it comes to microphone, I'm using the DJI microphones. This is the first edition. I know that the second one just came out a couple of months ago, but I'm still using the first one. I love that you can use it both with a dedicated camera like I have over here, but also it has a USB-C, but also a lightning port, so you can use that one with the phone if that's what you need. And while this is my go-to setup when I'm shooting videos, of course I still use my iPhone, and I currently have my iPhone 15 Pro over here, and of course this comes in handy whenever I need a quick shot. But I also managed to use this GoPro over here. This is a pretty standard GoPro. It's not even mine. I bought this from a colleague, so thank you for that. But it was really useful because I managed to clamp it right on my backpack whenever I was traveling, and in this way I could do quick shots whenever I was browsing through Hard-Off or some other stores or even on the street. To continue with my YouTube gear, but not only, I also travel with the Samsung T7 2TB SSD. This is a pretty rugged SSD that I always take with me, and actually this is my main editing storage device. All my YouTube content is right here. Of course I do have backups for it, and I decided to go with my iPad Pro. It's the 11-inch because it can also be used easily in the airplane to watch some movies or play even some games. And the iPad, it's something that I always take with me whenever I'm traveling because it's more portable than a MacBook. But I did try it out this time to edit videos, and I did this before. I used to use LumaFusion to edit my videos right here for the channel, but this time I really decided that I want to go with Final Cut for the iPad, and boy was I wrong, because I completely hate this software on iPad. Now I understand why people were complaining, but boy did I miss editing on my M1 MacBook. And because I was talking about the iPad, I did have the Magic Keyboard, the official Apple one, which is something that I really love. I did have one in the past with my previous iPad, which again was stolen last year in Spain. I missed that accessory so much that I decided to buy a different one. I know it's pretty expensive. I know it's not for everyone or for most of you out there, but considering that I've been struggling to get it back ever since I lost it, it was a clear reason for me to get a new one. The trackpad, even though it's small, it's pretty nice. And to complement that, I also have a Logitech Pebble mouse. I didn't take my MX Master 3S with me because it's a bit bulky. This one, as you can see, it's really tiny. I like having this with me. It made the editing process a bit easier because I usually tend to use a mouse but also the trackpad, and this way I had everything that I needed in one place. And talking about making the editing process a bit easier, I did have with me this portable laptop desk. This is from Fun Cube. It has been sent to me to test it out, but to be honest, I really enjoyed using this in my holiday, because while you can use this on a desk, this whole idea of this portable laptop desk is to use it portably, of course, and I've been using this on my lap or the airplane tray. This makes the whole area a bit bigger, and the best part for it, it has a dedicated mouse pad over here that you can just slide out. Using this on the lap makes the whole process a lot easier, especially with the iPad, the 11-inch one, which is pretty small, so it can get crampy when you're using it on your lap, even though it does add a bit of weight. I'm not sure how much this weight, but I'll put it right here on the screen. The material feels pretty good. I'm not sure how this will resist in time, but for now I tossed it around quite a lot in my travels. I put it in my backpack for most of the time, but it can get a bit heavy after a while. Overall, it's a really nice accessory, different angles, magnetic, and especially the sliding mousepad over here. I think it's a great addition, and in the same pocket that I usually put my iPad in, I also had my Kindle. This is a pretty old model, but I like taking this with me because it's easier to travel with. The Kindle, it's something that I always take with me, especially in this long flight. Alright, so now moving on to the more gaming oriented accessories. I did take with me some consoles, of course, because this is a gaming YouTube channel and I had to take something with me. And a spoiler alert, I actually didn't game that much through this time. I did try to sleep as much as possible when I was in the airplane, and whenever I didn't do that, I either watched the movie or read a book. But I did take a couple of consoles with me, and the first one was the Steam Deck. Now you may consider why the Steam Deck and not something like the ROG Ally, because that's usually my main console. I did a bunch of different videos even recently about it. Well, while I do like the ROG Ally, it's lighter, it's smaller, it can play games better for the most part, but the one key aspect why I chose the Steam Deck and not the ROG Ally, it's battery life. The battery life is not great on the Steam Deck either, don't get me wrong. I could easily take something like the Nintendo Switch with me, which is even lighter, smaller, and the battery lasts a lot longer than these two devices, but I also wanted to have a couple of different games with me, and I did play God of War, Sea of Stars, also Baldur's Gate, so I wanted to have these kind of games with me, so of course the Nintendo Switch doesn't have those ones. And I did take the Steam Deck with me because of the better battery life comparing with the ROG Ally. I do have here the mod case from JSOX and also the purple backplate, as you can see right over here. And while it is smaller to take with this case comparing with the official case that comes with the Steam Deck, the overall gram, it's I think almost the same, but the overall space that it occupies in my backpack is smaller with this one. Keep in mind that the overall weight of the Steam Deck using this case, it's almost 1 kilogram. It's actually one of the heaviest things that I took in my backpack. And as soon as I could move this into my big troller when I arrived in Japan, it's the first thing that I did. Having the iPad with the Magic Keyboard. Then the Fun Cube also, which adds a little bit of weight. My back was killing me. So that's why from now on, I'll be honest, I will not take my Steam Deck or any other bulky, heavy consoles with me. I will just take something minimalistic. Actually, I do have the Anbernic in mind. I don't have that one yet, but it's something that I've seen a lot of YouTubers doing videos about. Apparently that's a pretty good emulation device, so maybe I'll give that one a shot. It's not that expensive, so if you have any recommendations for me, please drop a comment. If you already have Anbernic, please let me know which model, because it's something that I am considering. But besides the Steam Deck, which is a bulky and heavy device, you know my biggest struggle when it comes to retro gaming. I love both the PS Vita but also the 3DS, the new model, and whenever I'm traveling I usually tend to take one or the other with me. And this time I still decided to go with the 3DS. At least the battery life is better than on the Steam Deck, depending on what I'm playing. But again, gaming on the 3DS is something that I didn't do that much, and I'm actually happy about it, because once I was there, my focus was on visiting new places, because Japan, it's actually a different world from what I see. And it was the first time I've been there, and I really want to take it all in and enjoy it as much as possible, and especially retro game hunting. And believe me, I bought a bunch of different things. I don't know if you can already see some of it right there on the back, depending on how I crop this video, but it's already stored there waiting for me to do these videos. So don't worry, those videos will be out soon. Trust me, it will be worth it, because at least from my point of view, the things that I bought are pretty nice, and there are quite a few, don't get me wrong. Besides these consoles, I did take two more things gaming related, which to be honest I didn't really use. One of them, it's a docking station, and this is the Syntec Home one that I featured a while back. This is an USB-C docking station that I can use with the Steam Deck and also with the iPhone actually, because the 15 Pro has Type-C now. It can add a bunch of different ports. I have so many docking stations that I did videos about on this channel, but this one specifically, it's the one that I usually take while traveling because it's light, it's plastic. I don't want it to be too bulky or heavy, so that's why I usually tend to take this one. And another accessory that I took with me, it's this 8-bit Do controller. This is the SN30 Pro. And as you can see, it has all the buttons, all the triggers. It's really tiny. I can take this with me in my backpack. And I usually take this one because I either play it with my console, so the Steam Deck in this case, or with the iPad actually, because iPad can also play a bunch of different older titles, and GTA San Andreas, it's one of my favorites. I always have that game on my iPad. I usually play the game on my iPad using this controller. These are the most essential ones, and for the next trip I'll make sure to keep it smaller and smaller because my backpack can get really heavy. Even though there are not so many accessories that I have featured in this video, believe me, they're quite heavy, and I'm planning on removing some of it for my next trip. Alright guys, that's it for this video. Hopefully you find this useful because this is a question that you guys had for me. And don't worry, I have a bunch of different videos about my whole trip in Japan. I have so many things that I want to show you and tell you about my experience and why I'm also upset because what other YouTubers said about retro hunting in Japan, from my point of view, was a big lie, and I almost missed out on some amazing consoles just because of that reason. But in the end, I'm pretty happy with what I got, so stick around for that video because I believe it will worth it. Now, thank you for watching. This is Silviu and this is the Tech Unravel, and I'll catch you in the next video.